Hello friends, welcome to our channel Explain Things Around and our course Learn C Programming. So in our last session we learned about loops in C. We learned about the different types of loops are available in C like for loop, while loop, do while loop, and today we'll continue more on that. We'll try to create few programs on that. So before we start, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please click on subscribe button. So far we have learned about loops and we understood like if we need to perform a fixed activity number of times, it can be number of times, so it can be based on some condition. If we need to perform that activity, we can utilize loop feature given in C. We have learned also few more keywords along with others which we learned earlier like double, int, char, float. We learned about long, short, unsigned sign. We have learned about if else which are related to conditional statements, decision control statement. We have learned about void and return keywords which are related to a function. And in our last video we learned about keywords like for, while, and do. These were the keywords related to loops in C. So out of 32, so far we have learned about around 15-16 keywords, and going forward we'll be covering more keywords as we come across. So today we'll try to write program for related to number printing. We'll try to create program for table printing, and we'll interest calculator also. We'll try to modify the case which we discussed in our last session. We'll try to optimize our interest calculator. We'll also try to print some specific patterns using loops in C. So let's go into dev C++ and we'll start programming. So let me create a new file. Yeah. So we'll start with printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where till what number we need to print, that will be coming from user. So let's start, say hash include studio.h void main. So we need to take the last number from user. So let's define that integer n, and we'll give a prompt to user. Please enter till what you want numbers to be printed. We can say like that. Then we'll use scanf function so that user can provide the value on console. So this is integer number, so we are using percentage %d as format specifier, and here I am %n, so that value gets stored to the address of variable n. So far we'll get the value from user till what point he wants number to be printed. And what we need to do now, we need to print the value of these whole numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we'll do, we'll create another variable int I, let's say. So this is the declaration part, and we'll try to implement for loop. So this was the structure we learned in our previous session. So we initialize first I equal to 0, then semicolon. Second part is your condition part. So we need to print it till this number is less than till this number is, so we need to print till that number. So for example, if user is saying 5, we need to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say this is I is less than equal to n, and say I plus plus. So I'm writing it for now. We'll see how this, what kind of output we get. Okay, so it will start with 0. First I will have value 0. It will validate if I is less than equal to n. So let's say user is giving n as 5, so it will validate 0 less than 5. So let's write that down here. Suppose user gives n as 5, so I first it will get the value of 0, and it will look if 0 is less than equal to 5. So this condition will be true. So because of the statement printf percentage %di 0 will get printed on the screen. So what we are doing now, we are doing dry run. We have not actually compiled our program, we have not ran it. We are trying to see what kind of output we can expect manually. Next, it will go for the I++. So plus plus symbol is for the increment by 1. So for example, if I is 0, we initialized here I with 0. So now it will get incremented by 1. So now I will get the value of 1. Again, it will test for this condition I less than equal to n. So it will look. So this will also get satisfied. So it should print 1 now. Again, I will get incremented. So this will get 2. Again, the condition will be true because 2 is less than 5. Now again I will get incremented, that will get value of 3. Again it is less than equal to 5, so we'll get 3 should get printed. Now I will get 4, that is also less than equal to 5, so 4 should get printed. Now I will get 5 because of I++, that is also less than equal to 5, so 5 should get printed. Now I will get 6, and which is not satisfying the condition. Now if it validates for I less than equal to 5, so this condition will fail, so it will not go inside this loop, and this printf statement will not get executed, so it will stop after printing 0 to 5. So let's save it and run it. So let's save it as number printing, and let's save it as type source file C. So I'm saving it now. Let's compile it. So we should not be getting any error. Yeah, so no error, no warning, and if you see here, our executable file got generated. So let's run it now. So we should be seeing a prompt on screen saying please enter till what you want numbers to be printed. So let's say 5, the one we did dry run for. So let's enter 5. So you see a 0 1 2 3 4 5, till that point only it got printed. So if you want spaces also in between, so we can easily do that. So let's enter one space here after percentage %d. So you will see one space. So excuse me if there's some grammatical mistake on the sentence. I don't think that is important here. So put in comment if you find any question related to concept. If you are not understanding anything, I'll answer that. So let's run it now. Please enter till what you want numbers to be printed. I am saying 5 again. If you see here now, yeah, 0 1 2 3 4 5, you can see, right, it is working fine. If you want to run it again, let's run it again with some different value. I'm giving 20 now. So you can see here number got printed from 0 to 20. So it is starting from 0 because we have initialized this variable I to 0. If you want number to get printed starting from 1, we can initialize to 1. Now let's run it again. If you see, okay, I didn't compile it, so excuse me, let me compile it again. Yeah, so executable file got generated again, it got replaced. Now let me run 20. So you see, right, it is starting now from 1. So we can easily achieve this kind of we can easily tackle this kind of scenario with the help of loops. So for now I did this with help of for loop. Now let me do let me try to do the same thing with the help of while loop. So as we know, for while loop, this initialization part goes on top. This is what we learned. And inside this, we have only condition, right? So let me leave the condition there only. And after our activity, we do the increment or decrement part. So this increment or decrement part is based on your requirement. Since we are printing from 1 to 10, so we are incrementing. If you would have if we need to print from 20 to 1, we could have used minus minus decrement part. So I'll show you that also. So be with me. So now I'm saving it. I'll compile it again. So okay. I have missed the semicolon here, so let me compile it again. So you should not be getting any, yeah, no error, no warning, and I am going to run now. Yeah, so if you see, I am 1920, and we are getting the same kind of output with the help of while loop also. So we can easily understand here. So first it initializes that variable and it checks for the condition. If that condition is true, then only it goes for the printing. So till 5, till the value of I is 5, it will be satisfying. If you want to see what is the last value of I when it came out of the loop, let's print this outside of the loop. We'll know what was the value of I. So let me type here value of I out of value of I out of loop, outside of loop. So when it came outside of the loop, what value it was storing? I'm also gonna use slash n so that it comes in the next comes to gets printed to the next line. So let me save it. I'm compiling it again. No error, no warning. Let's run it. If I enter 20 here, so you see 1 to 20 it printed, and when it came outside of the loop, value of I was 21, and that was the reason this condition didn't get satisfied, I less than equal to 1, and that was the only reason it came out of the loop. If you want to print the same thing in descending order, so till now we printed in the ascending order. So if you want to print same thing in descending order, like 20 to 1, 15 to 1, so what we can do, we can initialize this variable n. We can initialize this variable I to the value we have entered. So it will start printing with the value of n, maximum value. So for example, let's take 5. So it will start printing with the value of I, value of 5. And we need to decrement it. So we'll use I minus minus. And this time what we need to validate, what we need to check, we'll check value of I is greater than equal to 0. So based on the condition, if based on the requirement, if you want to print till 0, you can use greater than equal to. If you want to print only till 1, you can use greater than 0. So let me save it now, and this time let me say now I'll compile it again and I'll run it. So I'll enter 15. So if you see, it is started in descending order because we initialize this value not to 0, not to 1. We initialize this to whatever user has given to the n. So it started from 15 and we are using minus minus. So it started decrementing the value by 1, 15, 14, 13, 12. It came till 0 because we are validating condition. Our condition is till I is greater than equal to 0. So when it came to 0, that also is satisfied, and when it came outside of the loop, we can see value is minus 1. So I think we are clear here. If you wanted to print it till 1 only, so you can remove this equal to condition from the expression, and let's compile and run it again. Let's run it. So if we run now, it will come only till 1, because once it comes to 0, this condition will not get satisfied. When value of I comes to 0, this condition will not get satisfied. 0 greater than 0. This will fail, so it will come outside of the loop. So it will print only till 1. If you want to, so this was our number printing program. So let's try to create a program to print table of a given number. So let me create a new source file. So this time what we are going to trying to achieve, we are trying to print the table of a given number. If it is 2, for example, if user enters 2, we'll try to print 2, 4, 6, 8 till 20. So this kind of output we are trying to achieve. So let's start with hash include stdio.h void main. So since we need one input from user, I am creating a variable n printf. I'll give command to user, enter a number for which we need to print table so that user knows. Now we need to call scanf function so that user is allowed to enter the number. Scanf. Okay, so now we got the value from user. Now we need to print this. So we are going to print till 10 times. Okay, so we need to perform this activity. Starting itself, we know that we need to start from 1 and we need to execute this activity 10 times. So I less than equal to 10 and we'll keep incrementing this. So if you try to find a pattern in your output, so this is the number and what we need to print here. So for that also let me create a variable out. So say out will be your n into I, right? And let's print this value percentage d comma out. And since we want to print this in each line, in a single line, so we can use new line characters backslash n. So if you see, this is what, so what, when we say tip, we need to print a table of a given number, what operation basically we do? We multiply that first with 1, then again with 2, then we multiply that with 3, then we multiply that with 4. So this kind of activity we do till 10 times, right? So we know here the number of times we need to perform this activity. So this multiplication activity we need to perform and again and again. So this activity we can put into the loop, and how many times we need to perform this activity? 10 times. So we are giving this condition here, I less than equal to 10. Okay, so let's save it. Let me save this file as table printer. Let me say that table printing. We need to save it as C source file because this is C program. Let us compile it. Okay, you see some error here, right? Okay, so error is I undeclared. So as we know, we need to declare the variable whichever you're using. First, we need to declare. So I had missed this variable I. That was the reason. So I'm declaring that also now. So we should not get any error. Okay, no error, no warning. So let's run it now. So till this part sequentially it will process in sequential order, and from here it will process in a loop order. It will look for the condition, it will validate all those things, and till the point condition is satisfied, it will keep printing. So I am giving table of 3. So if you see 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, all those got printed. If you want to print it in a fashion like 2 into 2 equal to 4, 2 into 1 equal to 2, 2 into 2 equal to 4, that also can be easily achieved because all of these values are available to us in variable. So what I'll say here, percentage d, 2 is stored in n, right? So that will map here as n. Second, 1 is stored in variable I, and between that we need to print star, that is stored in I, comma, and our equal to part equal to percentage d. So each of these fields are now available. So we are printing percentage d into percentage is equal to percentage d, and I out. These will be mapped to these variables. So let's see how it comes in output. Compile it. Now let's run it. I'll say 2. If you see now, 2 into 1, 2, 2 into 2, 4, 2 into 3, 6, 2 into 4. So this in this fashion also you can print with the help of loop. So another thing, so far we have implemented for loop and while loop. But suppose if you want to print the table of 3 just after this program will not work again. Okay, suppose if you want to perform this whole printing activity, this all table printing activity again for some different number, right? You have same program you cannot use because that is written only for one time activity. This was the scenario we are talking about, the interest calculator. Let me open our interest calculator program which we developed earlier. This was our interest calculator. Yeah. So same case was here also. If we run it, it will help us to calculate for one time only. So I'm giving principal amount 100. Let me enter rate of interest say 9.5 and let me say number of year 1. It calculated for one time. But suppose if I again calculate interest for with different principal of amount with a different rate of interest or with a different number of years, I'll have to run this program again. But if you want to do this activity again and again, minimum one time, same thing it can be achieved with the help of do while loop. What we can do, let's put this all activity inside do loop, do while. So let's say do here and close it here, and unless and as we discussed, if user says yes, I want to calculate again, we'll keep on doing. Okay, so let's get a prompt from user print. Let's give him a prompt saying, do you want to calculate interest again? Yes or no? So if user enters Y, we'll not close the program. If user enters N, we'll close the program. We'll close the screen. So we need to capture user's input, right? So let's create a variable, and what kind of input we are expecting from user, Y or N, that is of character type. So let's define a variable char, say input, say this is in. So we'll get this from user. Since this is a character type, so we'll use format specifier as %c, and here I am %e. So we'll get the value from user in variable in. So what we need to do next? We need to validate this value. We need to validate the value of in variable. So inside while, what I'll write, if the value of in is equal to y. So till this condition is satisfied, this activity will keep on happening. So till the point user is giving response with y, this calculator will be available to user. He can again enter some other value and this calculation will happen again. So let's see how it works. I have saved it. Let me compile it again. So we see some error here. Let me see. Uh, so it expected one semicolon. Okay, we have missed here the semicolon. So let me save it again and compile it. Yeah, so no error, no warning, and we are good to run now. So since we are using do while loop, so first time this all activity will be done by default, this all. So one time it will work by default, and after that if it will get repeated or not will be based on the condition. If the condition in equal to y gets satisfied or not. So I am entering 1000 here, rate of interest say 9.5, year 1. It calculated. Now we see here, do you want to calculate interest again or not? Okay, so one thing we missed here, this started from here, so we should have got one prompt after this, but this thing didn't work properly. So let me check if we missed something. Let me say this one as char input. Let me define this also here as char input, and this is your while loop. So let me save this. So ideally this all activity should get repeated. main is getting closed here. So I'm compiling it again. Okay, so I didn't change name here. Let me say, mm, so till input equal to y, it should work. It should keep on going into loop. Let me compile it again. No error, no warning. So let's run it. 100 I'm giving as principal amount, 9.5 I'm giving as rate of interest, 1 I'm giving as number of years. Again it didn't go there, something is missing, something is missing. So after printf it should prompt, but it is not coming here. So I think I get it now why this error is happening. This error is occurring. So it is because of the character property. So let me show you that by example. So let me create one quick small program to show you the issue. So we are including studio.h and this is related with standard input output only. So and we are calling void main. So what happens when we are creating one variable char c, for example, let's give one prompt, enter a character, and we have scanf percentage %c, and we want to get the value from user from console. So value will come from standard input buffer. There is stdin buffer there is, so from that it will come. So let me print also to on console that what user entered. So let me say here you entered percentage %c, and here I'll map C. Let me put slash n also for new line, and let me repeat this process. So what I am trying to do here, two time I am trying to take the character input from console by the user. So let me save it. So we should see that issue here also. I compiled it and let me run it now. So what should happen? Let's execute it line by line. This is a sequential instructions. These are sequential instructions. It will proceed line by line. So first we should get enter a character on screen. So we got that. Let me put y. So you see here you entered y. Again we got the prompt enter a character, but after that nothing came and it is saying you entered. There's a there's null character already sitting on the stdin buffer, and that is the reason it is not allowing you to enter any value, and by default it is considering you entered something. So if you need to tackle that, you have to put one extra blank space before this format specifier, so that will clear if there's anything on the in the buffer. So let me compile it again, and we should not be seeing that error this time. Let's run it. I entered y here. You see again it now it is asking enter character. So second scanf is working. So if you want your second scanf to work, this is only applicable for character. If you are using some integer integer variable or any float variable, this is not, you don't need to worry about it. It is only applicable for characters. In case of character, that is one byte in size, and if there is any so already it assumes in buffer there is some character. When you use scanf for second time for character variable, it assumes there's already one character. So to avoid that, we have to use one extra space here also. So let's try to run it now. Let's try to run it now. I have included one extra space and I'll compile it. No error, no warning. So let me run now. So this time it should work. So first time this is coming because of the do. All the instruction given inside the do. Now I'm giving one. So it got calculated. Now it is asking me to, it is asking user basically to if he wants to continue or not. So if I enter Y, so again the same code will get executed, this inside part. So it will keep on executing till I'm responding with Y, like yes, proceed. Let's, you can change the principal amount this time. Let's now, we can, if you want, you can calculate with different interest rate, with different tenure. You can keep on using this interest calculator by as many times you want with the different values. So if you want to close it, you have to respond with n. So if I, so this time this condition will fail while input equal to y. So this condition will not meet. So it will come out of the while loop and your program will close. So I think these were good examples to explore loops and how we can use that for different scenarios. So we learned about for loop, we learned about while loop, we learned about the do while loop. So these are the important, these are the loops, these are the type of loops available in C, and we can use this if whenever we have some set of actions which we need to repeat for number of times or based on the conditions. So we demonstrated both. In case of number printing or table printing, we are doing a certain task, there we are printing something for a given number of time, and in case of interest calculator, we modified our interest calculator so that same calculator we can use again and again without running the executable file. Only once we need to run the executable file, and unless until we say that we don't want to continue, user will be able to access the calculator. And in our coming videos, we'll also demonstrate about printing some specific patterns. So there we'll try to implement nested loops. So far we have used only one loop, for loop, while loop, or do while loop, but there we'll try to implement loops inside loops. So you'll learn how we can use that and what are the scenarios where we can find the applications. So stay tuned to our channel, and if you liked our video, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends. Thank you. Thanks for watching.